Hello, I'm Ms Diane from the Ridgefield Library. Nice to be with you today to make the tribal rain sticks. Before we make our rain sticks, and I will be making mine to show you how it's made, I'd like to share a story with you. And this story must have happened on a day after somebody used their rain stick and it worked, because the rain sticks were used to make it rain. The native South Americans from Chile and Argentina used the rain sticks, and when they had a dry spell because it was very hot where they lived, they would take a cactus, part of a cactus branch, hollow it out, put some pebbles inside, and make a rain stick. And they would use it with the belief that it would make rain happen. So somebody must have used a rain stick before this story, because the story is called The Rain Came Down, and it's raining and raining and raining and pouring in this story. This book is by David Shannon. He's written other books like No David, and his pictures are totally amazing. So I'd like to share this book with you and then make the rain stick, okay? Here's the story, The Rain Came Down by David Shannon. The rain came down. On Saturday morning, the rain came down and it made the chickens squawk. Quack, 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 quack. You see these drips of rain? It looks like the rain is just beginning. The cat yowled at the chickens, and the dog barked at the cat. And still, the rain came down. Now it looks like it's raining much harder, and what a commotion, right? The man, he yelled at the dog, and he woke up the baby. Stop all that yelling, shouted the man's wife. The dog barked louder, and still the rain came down. A policeman heard the noise and stopped to see what was wrong. His car was blocking traffic, and half a block away, a woman squirmed in the back of a taxi. Hurry up, or I'm going to miss my plane, she said. She told the taxi driver, and he started honking his horn. And the truck driver in front of him got mad and started honking back. I have tomatoes to deliver, he shouted. And the ice cream man heard the honking, and he turned up the music on his van. Jing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling went the music. Slap-a-da, 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 slap-a-da went the windshield wipers. And still the rain came down. Well, the owner of the beauty parlor, she came out to see what all the fuss was about, and she bumped into the barber coming out of his barber shop. And they began to argue, and up on the ladder, the painter grumbled. I can't paint in the rain. He started to climb down, and he bonked the barber in the head with his can of paint, and now all three of them were arguing. And here's the baker. Next, the baker stepped out of his bakery. Oh, my roof is leaking and my cakes are getting wet, he said. He moaned, actually. And he opened his umbrella and he poked the pizza man in the nose, and they joined in the bickering too. Well, a boy ran by, chasing a small boat down the stream in the gutter, and he splashed a little girl. And she began to cry, and still the rain came down. What a lot of trouble on that day. Well, the grocery man, he stomped onto the sidewalk and he said, Where's that delivery truck? I need my tomatoes. And he ran into the lady coming out of the clothing store and knocked her boxes into his fruit stand. And oranges and apples and lemons bounced down the sidewalk, and still the rain came down. The policeman, he walked back to his car. What is all this ruckus about, he asked, and the whole block, they were honking and yelling and bickering and barking, and it was such a noisy town. And then, the rain stopped, and so did the noise, and the sun came out, and the air smelled fresh and sweet, and everything shimmered And do you see a rainbow on the page? Can you find the rainbow? There it is. A rainbow stretched across the rooftops. And the baker said, "Oh, it's much too nice a day to be arguing," said the baker. "I have cakes to bake." And the pizza man says, "Yes, and I have pizzas to make," said the pizza man. And the barber said, well, no, actually, the painter said, "I could use a shave while my building dries." And said the painter to the barber, and they went inside. And I see another rainbow, do you, in the reflection, right, of the policeman's glasses. The policeman said, "Everything looks A-okay here to me." And he drove off in his car. Well, the woman, remember how upset she was? The woman in the taxi decided she had time to have her hair done before her trip, so she went into the beauty parlor. And the lady with the boxes got into the taxi and she went home. And the truck driver told the grocer, "I have your tomatoes." "Oh, wonderful," said the grocer, "but first I have to pick up this fruit." And the little girl and the little boy helped pick up the fruit, so he bought them ice cream cones. And the ice cream man gave them each an extra scoop. Look how many scoops. That's a 3-scooper. Because it was such a nice day. And you remember the family at the very beginning when the baby started to cry? Well, look what they did. Then the man, his wife, and their baby had a picnic together in the backyard while the dog, the cat, and the chickens slept in the warm afternoon sun. And now it's not raining anymore. Okay, so let's get started. In your kit, you should have the tube. You should have 3 brown chenille. We call them pipe cleaners. Some feathers, some beads, 2 white circles, 2 pieces of jute, this brown paper, and some rain. Now these little bits are going to make the rain sound. Be careful you don't drop these because you're going to need all of these to make the beautiful rain sound, okay? So when you make something, sometimes you make decisions to make it one way or the other, and I'm going to change my directions a little bit from the written directions, and you can do my way or you can do the directions way, and I'll tell you all about it, okay? So the very first thing, now you also need scissors. You need something to draw with, to write with, I mean. You need possibly some colorful markers. Oh, those are Diane's, that's my name, right? Ms Diane, those are my markers. You'll need white glue. You might want to use a glue stick and some tape. So before you begin, I think you should gather all these things so you're ready to go. So the directions say to cut off 3 inches from this long brown piece. Now the way I did that was I took this tube and used it to measure with, and I just, whatever the length of the tube is, I marked it and cut off the rest. The rest happens to be 3 inches. So you don't need to measure with a ruler or anything. You can measure with the tube as long, this will wrap around the tube. So you need it to be perfectly long enough for the tube. And you cut the rest off. Now the directions say to cut, first it says to crinkle it up. And the reason it says to crinkle it up is to make it look more woody, like rough bark. So you can choose to do that, and it looks a little rough, and then cut them out. But I'm not going to choose to do that because when I read about rain sticks, they were actually made from a branch of a cactus. And when it dried and they took the thorns off, it was very smooth. So I'm going to leave mine smooth. I'm not going to wrinkle it up, and it's easier that way too. But if you want it to be like the directions, and if you want it to feel more like wood, you can wrinkle it up, okay? So if you choose to wrinkle it up, you wrinkle it up I'll do one of each. I'll do one side wrinkled up and one side not. And then you can decide what you want to do. Alrighty. So you cut out the two circles, you trace the circles onto the brown strip, the 3-inch strip, and you cut them out. So you'll have 2 of them, but I'm only going to use 1, right? So what you do is you're going to glue that piece of brown paper onto the circle. So I'll do that on one end, and the other end I think I'm just going to leave it plain, because if you turn it over, look, it's brown on the other side. So I think it's okay if you don't bother with this step, but if you like to, because it looks more authentic, go ahead and do it, okay? So this side will be kind of bumpy, and the other side I'm just going to use it as it is, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, next step. Next step is you'll take this long strip and you will decorate it, whatever you think you'd like to do. It doesn't have to be, there's no set patterns, but these were people, they were indigenous people that lived a long time ago. They could draw pictures of animals. They could draw pictures of things in nature. They could draw patterns and designs. So I just did a simple pattern and design on mine. But this is my pattern. So you decide to decorate yours any way you want. You take your time. You can do this after you watch the video and decorate it and enjoy your creation, right? Enjoy your creation. So the directions say to crinkle this up as well. So if you want the crinkled look, you can crinkle it up and it will be soft like that and a little bit bumpy. Or you can put it on the tube just like it is without crinkling. Your choice, okay? I'm going to put it on without crinkling because I think it will be a little bit easier, but you can crinkle it if you want. But first, now I was thinking a glue stick might be easier for this part. You can use your white glue, your wet glue, but I'm going to use the glue stick and put it all the way down one side. I just think it might be a little bit easier with the glue stick. Then you'll take that edge, line it up perfectly with the tube, rub it along the tube, and then roll it. So it's nice and smooth. Of course, if you crinkled it up, yours will feel a little bit more like a rough bark. Put some glue on here. Or put it on here. This is probably better since it's the edge, right? And I'm gonna roll it, and it's nice and beautiful. And I have my decorated rain stick that cannot make rain because it doesn't make a sound. Now it's kind of fun what we do to make the sound. You're gonna take these pipe cleaners, the 3 pipe cleaners, and first take 2 of them and kind of twist them together, okay? Twist them together so they're like one long piece. Twist them good. You don't want them to fall apart. I'm twisting mine maybe 4 or 5 times. See that? See that twist? And then take the other pipe cleaner, twist it. You see, you put them together like that and you twist them. And you twist and twist like you're twisting a jar or something to open it up. And then you have one very long pipe cleaner that will not come apart. So you take that long pipe cleaner and you find something in the house that is a narrower tube than this. It could be a broomstick handle. This happens to be a piece of pipe. But find something smaller. You see how this is smaller than the rain stick? And you're going to wrap the pipe cleaner. You're going to hold on to it and wrap it around and wrap it around and wrap it around. And that's going to give it a curl. So you wrap it around and around and around. You kind of go down the broomstick or handle or whatever you're using, and you kind of just push on it a little bit because you want it to take that shape. You want it to end up being a coil, okay? So let's see if it worked. I'm kind of squeezing it a little bit. So, oops, I think it worked. I'm going to slide it off. And there it is. It's a coil. Pretty cool. Isn't that cool? So you're going to take the coil, stretch it out a little bit so it's as long as your rain stick, and then put it inside the tube. This is why it had to be smaller, okay? Because it has to fit in there and come out the other side. If it doesn't come out the other side, which mine isn't doing, shake it. Shake it till, now I shook it and it came out the other side, and now it's it's a little tricky. So you shake it down, okay? Till you get it out. Oh, I'm so lucky because look what I have. I have both ends. Here's one end and here's the other end. It might take you a little bit of time to do that, okay? But you want both ends to show. Now you need a piece of tape. So I brought my tape. Get a piece of tape. And you're going to tape it really well inside the tube. You can let the piece of tape come outside if you want, but you don't want it to come apart. So put a couple pieces of tape. Make sure that's not going to come apart. Let me show you like that, okay? And on the other side, you're going to tape that pipe cleaner inside the tube like that, okay? You see that? Push on it because you don't want it to come apart. Now, you know what just happened, right? You put a coil in there and it's fuzzy. So when those little bits that are going to make the rain sound, when they travel down the coil, they're going to make that beautiful sound. So before we put any rain inside, we have to close up one of the sides, don't we? We don't want to have an accident. We don't want to lose our rain. So I'm going to take the crinkled one first. Put some glue around the edge, pardon me, around the edge. Ooh, this is a little tricky, isn't it? Oops. So therefore, maybe it's easier to put it around this edge. Yes, it is. That's how we learn, right? Push it on here, and you're going to want it to be secure. So I suggest anything that's sticking out, you wipe it off, then take some tape. Put it on there. Make sure it's straight. Put it on there and give it time to dry, maybe till later on, okay? If you put enough tape on, you'll be okay. Because you do not want to ever have this fall off because you will lose what's inside, right? You will lose what's inside. Okay, that's nice and firm. I like the tape idea. I like it even better than the glue. If you put enough tape on, none of those pieces will come out. Okay, ready? Do the same. Whoops, don't do the same on the other side until we put in the rain. Okay, carefully. You don't want to have to pick this up from the floor. Carefully, carefully, carefully. You might want to pour it into a cup first, but I didn't bring a cup in here with me. So I'm going to pour it in here. Keep my fingers crossed. Oh, I can hear the rain. I'm going to hold it where you can't see it for a minute while I pour the rest, okay? Can you hear the sound, though? Did you hear the sound? So all of my pieces are inside the tube. I'm going to put on the other cap, and this time I'm just going to make the brown side show. I'm not going to, it's the side that's not crinkled. I'm not even going to bother with the glue this time. Let's just use tape. Because, friends, I think you have better luck with the tape. So I used tape, and I went all around with the tape like this. And then I'm going to take another piece of tape. Make sure you don't have any little holes where it will come out. And take a nice long piece of tape and put it around here. So I don't really like the glue. I think it will take too long to dry. But if you have patience, you could use the glue. So I use tape. And that's good. You want to see if it works? I'm checking, make sure these are on nice and tight. My ends are nice and tight. They're taped down nice and tight. Here, good. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? And it does sound like rain. And now you know the secret is that coil inside. Well, we have a little bit more decorating to do. So you have 2 pieces of this is called jute. And you'll tie it, or you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do it like, you can make a handle out of it. Some people make it into like a long handle. But I'm going to wrap it around a couple times. Let's see, maybe 3 times you can wrap it around. That's pretty cool. Do some tying. And with your beads, you can put the bead on the end of the jute. And the secret to getting it on there is to twist the bead so it goes inside. It's a little rough inside those beads because they're made of wood. So wherever you want that bead to be, you slide it down. You have feathers in your package. You take a feather. You take I don't know what that part's called, but the pointy part of the feather, stick it right into the bead, and it will stay. Or if you'd like, because this feather is a little bit narrow, I'm going to put a dab of glue there. And then that will also have to dry, right? But it won't. It will be fine. It won't take long. And then that would stay for a very long time. You have 4 beads and 4 feathers. Let's do this again. Twist the bead. Oh, this one's really loose. So this one's definitely going to need some glue to make that feather stick in there. And there you have it. You can do one side. You can do both sides. You have enough to do. You have 4 beads and you have 4 feathers, so you can do both sides. And then your rain stick is done. So have fun. Now, if we all make our rain sticks this week and we all use them, we might have quite a bit of rain in Ridgefield. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little tired of rain. I want the sun to shine and for it to be summertime. So have fun with your rain stick, but please, please, please don't make it rain too much, because I'd also like to see the sun shining. Just like in the story, the rain came down. It ended when the sun started to shine, right? We don't have a water shortage right now in Ridgefield, but I hope you enjoy making your rain stick. I enjoyed making mine, and I found out some things while I made it. Didn't I? So you do whatever you want. You crinkle your paper, you don't crinkle your paper, you use glue on the ends, and I'd suggest a little tape just so you can hear it right away and you don't have to wait for the glue to dry. All right, bye-bye friends. Have a great time. Hope you enjoy your rain sticks.